Look at any massive protest or political rally, and you'll see a sea of monochromatic flags. Before a single slogan is chanted or a speech is given, crowds use color to instantaneously broadcast their ideology to the world. It acts as a global shorthand, providing a vocabulary that people use constantly, without often realizing how contradictory or regionally specific that vocabulary actually is. Take a crowd waving a red flag. In the United States, that identifies you as a conservative. But walk into a European parliament wearing that same color, and you've branded yourself a socialist. Or look at green. Across Europe, it signifies environmentalism. Yet in Latin America, those same green scarves and face paint represent a fierce movement for abortion rights. These symbols grew out of ancient religious altars long before reaching the battlegrounds of modern ideology. For centuries, red was inextricably tied to Christianity, utilized as a direct representation of the blood of Christ and divine sacrifice. But during the French Revolution and the subsequent uprisings of 1848, that symbolism underwent a secular shift. The color transitioned away from the divine to represent the earthly blood spilled by workers fighting against capitalism. Because of those uprisings, the red flag became the official banner for the First International, establishing the current global standard for socialism and communism. Blue developed as the direct counterweight. Originating with the Tory party in the United Kingdom, it solidified over time into the dominant global symbol for center-right and conservative politics. At the same time, lighter shades of blue developed a secondary global identity. Institutions began adopting the color as a neutral banner for international peace and civic unity. This map shows how the United States completely breaks from that global standard. Before the year 2000, American television networks lacked a consistent color scheme. But during that highly contested election, mass media locked into a unified map, hardwiring red for Republicans and blue for Democrats. Within a single election cycle, the rapid standardization driven by modern broadcast networks overrode centuries of established global color symbolism. Long before it entered modern politics, green was recognized as the holy color of Islam, traditionally representing the lushness of paradise. Over time, that deeply sacred definition was adopted by modern political Islamism, serving as the unifying banner for various parties throughout the Middle East. In the West, however, green took a secular path. It emerged as the universal banner for environmentalist and agrarian parties, tying their political platforms directly to the natural world. We see a similar spiritual lineage with saffron. In Hinduism, this deep orange shade holds profound religious significance, representing personal sacrifice and the quest for light. Today, saffron has been distinctly harnessed by modern political movements in India to represent and mobilize Hindu nationalism. Both green and saffron trace a direct pipeline from ancient spiritual devotion to modern partisan identity. Earthly ideologies frequently borrow the visual authority of religion. As mainstream parties laid claim to primary colors, movements on the fringes adopted more complex identities. Black represents the total absence of the state for anarchists, yet it is simultaneously claimed by authoritarian movements like fascism. Yellow and gold share historical links to Judaism, but have been widely repurposed globally to signal right libertarianism, free market economics, and various regional independence movements. Then there is purple. It emerged historically as a color of political defiance, originating in the United Kingdom with the women's suffrage movement. Today, it has evolved into a popular alternative color. Feminist parties, international pirate parties, and centrist movements use purple to intentionally distance themselves from the traditional red and blue binary. Emerging political groups strategically choose colors like purple because they offer a blank slate. They are selecting a visual identity unburdened by the historical weight of the established left-right spectrum. International coalitions and modern media constantly attempt to standardize these colors to keep messaging simple, but local and regional histories stubbornly resist those global norms. Take the color white. In France, it was firmly tied to the absolute monarchy of the Bourbon dynasty, but during the Russian Civil War, white became the unifying banner for a wide array of anti-communist forces. Orange presents an even starker geographic contradiction. In mainland Europe, it often represents Christian democratic parties, but cross the sea to Northern Ireland, and orange is inextricably linked to Protestant unionism. Go further east, and that same color is utilized by massive crowds to signify post-communist democratic uprisings. Ideology does not exist in a vacuum. Every political color functions as a heavy inherited symbol, weighted by centuries of revolution and regional conflict. When a politician selects a specific tie or a crowd waves a monochromatic flag, they are actively participating in a deep visual lineage that predates the very policies they are fighting for.